24/7 and also air every 10 minutes during applicable times. And find out the latest road conditions at the road conditions icon on DeWittDailyNews.com. Whether online or on air, we've got you covered.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning is Melinda Akers. She is the Youth Program Director, or is it Sports Program Director at the YMCA?
Youth sports, adult sports.
All the programs.
All the things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Well, good to see you, Melinda.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for coming out and talking with us. And let's start with this because this is a holiday and there are kids at the Y with Y Zone Extreme going on.
Yep.
Remind us about Y Zone Extreme.
So Y Zone Extreme is if there's a day where there's not school, we have from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have it at the YMCA, and that's just an extension of Y Zone, just all day, and they can come and we have stuff for them to do there. Sometimes we go swimming. Over the holiday break, we took them to the movie theater. So we try to kind of fill that day with fun activities and games and let them play around in the gym. And parents can drop off as early as 7 and pick up as late as 6 p.m.
Sure. Now, when it comes to Y Zone Extreme, is it every holiday that the school is on?
It's yes, for the most part. I mean, as long as it's during the week, we usually have an extreme day for that day.
Yeah, sure,
Yes.
sure. We'll talk about that in just a minute, or the emergency day in just a second. But who can participate in Y Zone Extreme?
Anybody who is signed up for Y Zone can participate in the extreme days.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you think, oh, I don't have a sitter lined up for a day that's going to be, there's no school next week on this day, you can come into the Y, register your child, and then they are good to come to Y Zone Extreme.
Sure,
So,
sure.
and there's no registration for the extreme day. You just show up at the Y and we get them signed in.
Very good. So
Yeah.
when it comes to cost of that, are you able to go over that with us this morning?
Yes, for a full day of extreme is $38. If you're utilizing the Y Zone itself, which is before school, which starts 6:30 in the morning and goes till 8 when kids would go to school, that's $12. And then after school, we have it from after school until 6 p.m. That's $13.
Sure, sure.
Yep.
So with kind of weather coming our way in the next few weeks, obviously with the cold days coming up, maybe some snow, later in the month and through the
Sure.
winter, those sorts of things. Emergency days may come into play.
Yeah.
It may not always happen though. Like if school is canceled, you can't count on the Y Zone Y Zone Extreme emergency days. But just talk a little bit about what it takes to put that on and when parents may know some of those things.
Yeah. If the Y is open and we are able to get there, and I'm able to get staff there, then we will have emergency extreme days. So I don't foresee there being a problem where we wouldn't be able to do that unless we get lots of snow. And then in that case, if the Y is closed, then we wouldn't have that emergency day.
Sure,
So,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. From your perspective in coordinating that, is that a difficult thing to get staff in place for those days?
I mean, so we have to have an adult staff member present. So it's more relying on my adult staff, and which is okay. They just also have small children too. So then you're hoping that they can get out and they're not blocked in either. I live in the country, so that
challenge.
Yeah, if we have 8 inches of snow, there's probably a good chance that I'm not going to be able to leave my house, for until I can get my road plowed and then my driveway plowed. So, but if we're able to get there, we will have an emergency day.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Yeah.
What's the best way for parents, community members to keep up with, the status of an extreme day or an emergency day in the event it's needed?
Yeah, I mean, you can call the YMCA and ask the front desk, because they're always in the know about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, if we were having an emergency day, we would post something on our social media site. So on our YMCA Facebook page. And maybe it's a situation where we couldn't open right at 7 a.m., but if we could bump it back a few hours, that way we could get, roads could get cleared, sidewalks could get cleared, everyone could get to the Y, then we could have a day like that.
Yeah.
So,
Say like an 8 or 9 o'clock start.
Yeah. So then that way we're still providing that service for people. Just may have to start a little bit later until things are, opening up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
Now, is there an added cost for parents that take advantage of those emergency days?
Not for emergency days. It's the same price as an extreme day. So it'd be the $38.
All right, very good. So keep that in mind in the event that it does come about, and we'll kind of keep track of that as the next few days play out with cold days coming our way and all that. But Melinda, again, in the meantime, anything on Y-Zone Extreme, emergency days, anything we didn't touch on with that topic you want to put out there for us?
One thing, if you're sending your child to an extreme day or an emergency day, I always just let parents know to pack like a swimsuit and towel, swim stuff, because there's a good chance that we could possibly go swimming. That's one of the activities that we have at the Y that kids love to do. If they're going to an extreme day, they want to swim.
Yeah,
so that's
right.
They're asking at 10 a.m., when are we getting in the pool?
Yeah, sure.
To have that and to have it there at the Y so that they can take advantage of that is great. So
I'm glad you brought that up. What other things do they need? Like, I know for our kids, I think we have to send a lunch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What kinds of things do you ask to bring?
So we ask that they bring a lunch. Also, one snack. We provide one snack, the afternoon snack, so they just need to bring a morning snack, and then something that they can refill for water. Whether that's just a refillable water bottle of any sort.
Sure.
And then if they need a change of clothes, for any reasons. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Very good. So plan on those things for Y-Zone Extreme days and Y-Zone Emergency days as well. We should also touch on the before and after school care for Y-Zone. This is pretty standard for when school is in session, like when we get back tomorrow and the rest of the school year. How about just standard Y-Zone, Melinda?
Yeah. So we have it in the morning from 6:30 to 8. And then we just make sure that if they go to Douglas or Lincoln School, they get on the bus there at CES, and there's transportation that gets them to their school. And then we have after school care from 3 to 6. If children go to Douglas or Lincoln School, that takes place at Lincoln School. So kindergarten through first is at Lincoln, and then second through fifth is at CES.
Sure.
So
very good. Talk to me a little bit about just kind of what goes on in before and after school care, particularly before school. I'm less familiar with that one, but how about before school care? What are they doing?
They're hanging out. I've been one morning and it was really quiet compared to after school. A lot different. So a lot of the times they bring their breakfast with them. They're eating their breakfast and they're, maybe coloring. Some of them may get some basketballs out. They're just, it's a little bit more relaxed in the morning than it is in the afternoon.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, they want to play basketball. They would really love to play football. The boys, and then we have Uno going on. Some kids love to play with the dominoes. We have different games there as well, and then a lot of the kids like to color too.
Yeah,
so we
sure.
always have coloring pages and stuff like that ready for them. So
speaks to the variety of things that they can do before and after school.
Yes. And then we also have like a homework station. Some kids love to sit and read their book, and so we have somebody that sits over there, and some they like to read. They're sitting over here. They've got their homework. Some kids have homework that they want to get done,
right? So
that they have that done by the time that their parents come and pick them up.
Definitely. So offers a little bit of something for everybody seems to be the theme.
Absolutely. We have high school staff. We always have one adult staff on hand, and it's nice that the high schoolers get to interact with the younger kids. You know, they get to build this rapport with them, and like that's their buddy.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, and then like they want, they get to help them with homework, which is great for the high school student to interact with younger kids and do that type of thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Sure. Very good. When it comes to registering students for before and after school care, talk a little bit about that process. What's it look like?
Yeah, so there's you can register anytime through the year, which before I took this position and I was just a mom who needed Y-Zone,
Yeah.
my daughter to go to Y-Zone after school. I was really worried, like I didn't have her signed up for Y-Zone until like 2 days before school started, and I was like, oh no, they're not gonna take her, like I signed up too late. But don't worry, you can sign up for Y-Zone anytime all through the year. So even if you're like, oh, next week I don't have a sitter, you can come into the Y, grab the registration form, fill it out, and then you hand it to the person at the front desk. There is a $25 registration fee, and then their registration stays on file for the school year. So you can, they can go to Y-Zone, Y-Zone Extreme, Emergency Extreme days from then on.
Yeah.
And you don't have to let us know. The only person that you would want to let know is the school. Like, hey, my son or daughter is going to Y-Zone tonight.
Yeah.
So that instead of getting on the bus or instead of being car pickup or walk pickup, they're gonna go to Y-Zone.
And that's pretty important because our family has had mix-ups where they thought our kids were walkers and they were Y-Zone, and that's so let the school know. And so
the school is the one that you want to let know. We just take all the kids when they come. So as long as they're on our registration form and they are signed up, they can come to Y-Zone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very good. Well,
Yes.
Melinda, again, do you have to be a member of the Y to send your kids to Y-Zone?
Absolutely not. It can be anybody, and there isn't a different rate if you are a member of the Y or not. So it's the same price whether or not you're a member.
Okay,
So, yep.
sure. Very good. So
Yeah.
stop into the Y then to get that process started?
Yep. And there's going to be a registration form. It's probably up by the front counter, and they can get you all set up.
Very good. Melinda, what's the best way for folks to follow along with the Y for, like, say, again, emergency days, maybe tomorrow, just general kids and sports programming? Where do they go? How do they follow along with all this?
So you can always check out our website, which is a great tool. On our website, there's information about Y-Zone. There's also information about sports and such, the sports that are happening right now. And then our Facebook page is also good to just kind of get like any update things, like we posted about the Extreme Day today last week. So that's always a good tool also. You can always call us and ask for me. I can give you all the info too. But those two places are really great to check out.
Easy enough. Very good. Well,
Yeah.
Melinda, let's take a break. We'll come back with some more. Melinda Akers is the Sports Program and Youth Program Director at the Clinton YMCA. Our guest in studio. More to come with her on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Bureau YouTube channel.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. No trading on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Trading resumes Tuesday. Corn, beans, and wheat all finishing lower on Friday. March corn closing at 447, down 10 3/4. May corn down 10 3/4, 459. December new crop 481 3/4, down 8. March beans closing at 1224 1/4, down 12 1/4. May beans down 12 1/4, 1235 3/4. And November new crop 1201 1/2, down 5 1/2. March wheat closing at 596, down 7 3/4. July wheat 618 1/2. Down 6 1/4. March bean meal 362.10, down a dime, and March bean oil 48.25, down 47 cents. Livestock market from Friday: January feeders up 30 cents, 226.57. February live cattle 171.37, down 42 cents. February lean hogs 71.90, down 70 cents. Jim Taylor, RFD.
Here's another Clinton Save-A-Lot satisfied customer.
Jennifer Hayworth. It's convenient, and I really like Save-A-Lot. Well, I really like the new store. I like it's bigger. It has a lot of variety. The prices are really good. It's very affordable. I like Aldi up in Bloomington, but I actually prefer Save-A-Lot to it. You can tell it's hometown owned. I like that too. Small business, supporting small businesses.
And as owner Dave Jackson says,
And we hope to see you soon.
By shopping at Love It Once More thrift store in Clinton, you help us help others. But you also help yourself by getting fantastic items at great prices. And this month, all clothes are 20% off. This is Connie. Be sure to check our Facebook, Instagram, or DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is Ryan Utterback with Utterback Real Estate. Are you looking for a professional?
Like a professional cornhole player?
No, a professional realtor.
Or a professional bowler? Strike!
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
For a professional buying and selling experience, click the Utterback Real Estate icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, Melinda Akers is the Youth and Sports Program Director at the Clinton YMCA. And Melinda, let's talk about those sports programs. Let's start with the kids' side of things. Basketball is underway. Is that right?
Yep, we've got basketball. This was the first week. We had 1 week of practice, and we've had this past Saturday we had our first game.
How did it go?
It went great. It went great. So normally we have our games at CES, and with all of the sports that's happening in Clinton, we had to utilize the YMCA, which is great. I'm glad that we have it available to use. And now because we've redone the gym there, we can raise and lower the nets. So that is huge. Especially for the kindergarten and first graders and second and third graders. They play at a lower rim height, so it's great that we can utilize our facility. So we had all of our games at the Y on Saturday, and that went off great. And we had great referees, and all the kids played awesome, and so it was a good time.
What are numbers like for the basketball this year?
With including our pre-K, we have like 150 kids.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yes. We have a huge pre-K group, which is fun.
Yeah, sure.
And we have a really big kindergarten through third grade group.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so like about 50 in each age group there. And then our fourth and fifth grade, we have two teams. We're able to make two teams, so that's great. Yeah.
Do you find that the older they get, the more participation drops off, just with interest and other things going on, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I do, and I also think that other sports plays into that. Like if kids are on the, one thing that I've run into just making the schedules for practice and games and stuff like that is that there are travel teams out there for basketball. There are also, the youth wrestling. That's happening on Thursdays, I think. Tuesday, Thursdays, I think, are their practices.
Sure.
So then that coincides with our practice too. But I do know that there are kids that they do both because they want to do both and they love to do both. So sometimes they may just have to make that choice one week, like, hey, I'm going to go to this practice, I'm not going to go to that practice. Yeah. So, but I do think the older they get with all the options out there, that we do find that our numbers do drop off a little bit.
Absolutely. Sure.
Yeah.
Very good. So what's kind of the schedule ahead for that program? Like how often are they practicing and playing? How about that?
Yeah, they practice once a week. We have 2 separate practice days, and basically just divided up kindergarten and first are practicing at an earlier time, where second and third, fourth and fifth, they practice at a later time. And then we've got games are going to be on Saturdays. So if you'd like to catch a game, we have our kindergarten through third grade are going to be playing at CES. And then 4th and 5th will be playing at the YMCA at 9 o'clock
Sure.
every Saturday.
Okay.
So,
All right.
until March 2nd.
Busy time.
Yes.
Busy time.
Busy time.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's more coming up on the calendar. Let's dive into that a little bit.
Yeah.
What's coming up for the kids?
So we are going to start a youth volleyball. I don't necessarily have all the details for that or what it's going to look like or what is going to be offered, but we know that we want to offer youth volleyball with our new gym, and we have a great volleyball setup, so we're wanting to do that. And that'll probably be springtime.
Okay.
And then we have flag football, which normally flag football has always been in the fall, but we've bumped it to the springtime.
Right. Talk about that a little bit more.
So there was, I believe that there was something, I'm not sure why they decided to do that. That kind of happened before I took the position.
Oh, okay, sure.
But they're wanting to have it in the spring, which I think is great because then, we can get some involvement from some of the coaches at the high school level, some of the players at the high school level. So it'll be great for kids to kind of see that interaction happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So that's coming up in the spring.
Yep.
You mentioned youth volleyball.
Yep, youth volleyball.
Yeah, tell us about that program.
So I don't have all the details for that yet either, but I know that we're going to have it. It's going to be in the springtime, and it may be something where we do clinics each week. I think I'm really excited about this because I played volleyball when I was in junior high and starting out in high school, and you don't have any exposure to that besides wave volleyball, which is a competitive level of, they're more competitive. So this is just going to be like something where kids can come and learn skills in volleyball and really get, start to learn the game.
Yes.
And then that way they're like, oh, I love it. Or, hey, I'm not sure about it. But then that way, once they get to junior high, they'll have skills under their belt. And, so I think it'll be great.
Very good. So be on the lookout for details forthcoming on that.
Yes. We will have those out as soon as possible.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
2 minutes here yet still, Melinda. How about adult programs? What's going on there?
Adult programs. Okay, so we're in volleyball right now. We just had our first game Sunday. That's fun. I'm on a team. It's fun. It really is. You're like, oh, I haven't done this in like 10 years. Okay. And then we've got men's basketball. It's going to be in March.
Okay.
I'm actually sitting down today with Brad Van Bailey, and we're going to talk about some details about the program.
Okay.
So,
Nice. So look out for details on that one.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to hopefully have those out within the next week or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Very good.
Yes.
When it comes to looking ahead to the summer, do you hope to kind of continue these programs or start new ones in the summer? What do you think about the summertime, Melinda?
Summertime, camp is our big thing.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so I know I'll be assisting with that, but one thing I plan to do is jumpstart soccer sooner.
Okay.
So because it kind of, when we started it, it was still warm out, but then towards the end of the season, it got really cold.
It did,
So
yeah.
I'm wanting to bump that up a little bit
Okay.
to where it's not going to be, we're not going to have to cancel games because of weather.
Sure.
So I'm wanting to bump that up a little bit
Okay.
and get the ball rolling on that a little bit sooner.
Pun
So,
intended, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Melinda, you've thrown a lot at us today. Again, central locations for details on everything you're doing, all the programs that are coming. Where do they go? How do folks follow along?
Go to Clinton Community YMCA website, and you can find details there. You can head to our Facebook page and find details there.
All right. Easy enough. Melinda, thank you for making time for us.
Thank you.
Good to have you once again. Melinda Akers is the Youth and Adult Program Director, or Sports and Adult Program Director at the Clinton YMCA, our guest in studio here this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news on the way on the WHOW Morning Show.